so find a way to.
Hello, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Lightworker community. My name is Monica. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about how to detach from what you want in order to manifest using the law of attraction. So I feel like I can't even convey how excited I am for this video today, because I was actually going to do a completely different video, and as I was getting ready to film this video, I just had the biggest download or epiphany or realization, whatever you want to call it, and I felt that I really wanted to share that today because I think it's going to be very beneficial. It's a huge breakthrough for me because it's something that I didn't really understand before. Detaching from what you want is a very big component of the law of attraction, and it's talked about a lot in the law of attraction community. I haven't actually really talked about this on this channel, and to be honest, it's because it's something that I didn't really feel like I understood completely or that I knew how to master. And I've heard so many law of attraction coaches say this over and over throughout the years since I've been practicing, and they're just like, don't put your manifestations on the pedestal, and they're like, don't be attached to how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, who it's going to happen with. And I totally agree, and that I have actually talked about in another video. So there are those attachments. Let's say you want a job in finance and you're like, I have to get a job at a bank, or maybe more specifically one of these big banks, and you're like, it has to happen that way, and you're attached to that outcome versus being open to it coming in any way. Because with our manifestations, many times it will come in ways that we would never have thought of. But I want to add another layer or another component to detachment. And what I realized was a lot of times, many of us are not attached to getting whatever it is we're trying to manifest. What we're attached to is losing what we want or failing in what we want. So I know that may not make a lot of sense, so let me try to break it down. Let's say, for instance, someone is trying to manifest their soulmate, their partner, a husband, a wife, and they have abandonment issues. And I can attest to this because this has been my experience. So because they have abandonment issues, they are afraid to get close to anyone. And when they do start to date, they may think that they're afraid of getting attached to the person, but they're more attached to the thought of losing that person. So in essence, they are energetically pushing that person away, and they're kind of subconsciously sabotaging the relationship. Now, not all relationships are meant to be. So it may not be them pushing them away subconsciously. It just may be that that's not the right person and they need to move on to someone else. So before they've even manifested a relationship or this partner, subconsciously they're already thinking and fearful, what if this person leaves me? What if this person abandons me? I get it. I've been there. But let's remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. So we're already living in the future of what if this doesn't work out. What has helped me, and I will use my relationship as an example with my husband, is realizing that I don't own him. He is not my property. I am just experiencing him. I'm experiencing what it's like to be with him. So knowing this, I know and I have accepted the fact that even though I think it's improbable, that it is possible that we may not be together forever. Yes, we are married. Yes, we've made a commitment. And I believe we both honor that commitment. But people get divorced all the time for all different reasons. I know that we trust each other. I know that we love each other. I know we honor each other, and we are very committed to each other. But I can't say that something someday could happen where we end up breaking up. I've accepted that fact. And because I've accepted that fact from the very beginning, when we started dating, it has made it so much easier to detach from the outcome of what could happen possibly in the future. I really hope this is making sense. I'm not trying to come off as a cold, heartless bitch, although I know that's probably how it may come off. If my husband and I broke up, I would definitely be heartbroken. I would be very sad. I would be crying, and it would take a while for me to grieve and to heal from it. And of course, I would try everything to reconcile. I would try to work it out as best I could. However, if my husband ultimately decides he doesn't want to be with me for whatever reason, he has the right to walk away. We have to accept that everyone has free will. We do not own anyone. They can decide to to be with us or not be with us or be with someone else if they want to. Too many times I see people overanalyzing when they start seeing someone, trying to predict the future, and they want this security and they want to ensure that if they fall for that person, that they will never ever leave them in order to avoid heartbreak. Unfortunately, that is not how the world works. We cannot predict what people are or aren't going to do in the future because, again, they have free will. So basically, by acknowledging and accepting the fact that you may go into a relationship with someone and you may not be together forever, and that you may have your heart broken, that you still follow your heart if you feel you want to be with that person for however long the relationship lasts. To take a leap of faith. And that will help you to detach from the fear of losing your romantic partner that you manifested. And remember that you also have the right to end and walk away from any relationship that is no longer working for you as well. But on that note, I've also accepted that if something were to happen in the future, not saying that it will, or that I'm wishing it, or I'm wanting it, or I'm willing it, or I'm manifesting by even talking about it, I'm just acknowledging it because, again, it is possible. Anything is possible. That I will find in divine timing another soulmate. What's meant to be will be. Sometimes people, things, situations are pushed out of our path in order to lead us to something better. That's not to say that we have to resent and hate the other person or the situation. We can still be grateful and appreciative of the time we had with that person. And that doesn't mean either that you can't feel sad or you can't grieve or you can't go into a depression because you miss that person so much. Because to love someone is to take them as a part of you. They are a part of your heart, and yes, it hurts. That's why breakups hurt so bad. And I'm not saying because if you break up with someone, then you're meant to be with someone else right away, so you need to just start getting with the first person or start dating right away even when you're not ready. I'm not saying that either. Let yourself have that time to grieve and to heal. When we break up with someone, it feels like a death. And we're kind of in that mourning stage because they may no longer be a part of our life. We may never speak to them again if we don't have, kids with them or some kind of attachment where we're seeing them on a regular basis. So that's a big example. Let me give another example. I had a friend who told me that they really wanted their parents to get a dog because she really wanted a dog and she lived with them. And they really wanted a dog, but the dad was resistant to getting a dog because he had had one before, got really close to it, and as nature would take its course, it eventually passed away of old age. Losing someone or losing a pet, anything like that, is also very painful. And it can be so scary to us, whether we've experienced it or we're afraid or fearful of experiencing it. It may push us away from what it is we want. So we may not take a chance on being with someone if we're afraid they may die, or getting a pet if we're afraid that they may die. But I do believe in that saying, that classic saying of it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Because I would rather have that experience, that time, no matter what amount of time it is, with that person, with that animal, and have that experience, that relationship, and that joy from the time that I'm with them. And I haven't experienced the loss of a pet, but when that happens one day, I would like to celebrate their life. Yes, I'm going to be sad as hell. I'm going to be crying a lot of tears. I'm going to be sad, that's just how it is. But also I want to celebrate, like looking at pictures, old pictures and videos, and talking about funny things that they did and experiences that we have. I want to still be able to appreciate that time with them in that way as well. Another example could be if someone is afraid to buy a house. Like in their mind, they really want a house or they want to buy this house. But they're so afraid of maybe losing their job and then losing the house, it being repossessed. So they're not exactly attached to getting the house, they're already attached to losing the house. Therefore, again, they are energetically pushing it away. Because in their mind, they've already lived through the stages of, okay, I've got it. Uh-oh, now I've lost it. Same could be said with success. I think a lot of times we're not afraid of failing, first attempt in learning, but we're afraid of actually being successful. And I know that might sound crazy, and I'm going to make a separate video so I can dive deeper into this topic. But some people are afraid of success because it's like, okay, well, now I'm out of my comfort zone. I know what it's like to not be what I consider successful, but now I'm in this whole other realm. I don't know what to expect. There's the unknown. What if I start a business? What if I hire a bunch of people, I lose the business, and they lose their jobs, and then they lose their homes, and their family is on the streets? I feel like when I say it out loud, it just sounds kind of like a little out there, but these are real fears. These are real fears for people. And I'm not saying that it can't happen. Again, anything is possible. But that doesn't mean that it will happen. That's why it's false evidence appearing real. It is all in your mind. So now, to the question of, okay, Monica, you've told me all of this stuff. I understand what you're saying, but what do I do? How do I detach from the fear of losing my manifestations before I have even physically obtained them? This is my advice. And I know I just said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Realize and accept that we own nothing. Everything in this world is temporary. And I know that may sound so bleak. And that may seem very discouraging. But I actually find it very empowering because it gives me the peace of mind and the freedom to mentally detach, because it helps me to become more in the flow. I'm not so resistant to change. I used to be very resistant to change. I actually said I hated change once. I've now learned to embrace and actually really like change. There's something good I'm always going to get from it, that I'm going to learn from it. Remember, if you lose something, it will be replaced with something better. The universe has got your back. You are divinely guided. Everything is always working out for you, even if it doesn't seem like it. You know how they say, you can't take it with you. You really can't. You can't take the house and the cars. You can't take those people that you love and those things that you love and you've acquired over a lifetime. So what I invite you to do instead is to just be present with it. Be present with what you have right now. Be present with the people you have now. Accept that things will not always be as they are. The only constant in life is change. Unfortunately, the reality is things happen. I know for people, there's things that they really value and they love, and it could end up being stolen. The house could end up on fire and they lose it. I'm not saying that these are good things and these are positive and you should just be okay with it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for me, I realized I have to accept that things change and that I don't own anything, and not everything is going to be around forever. Not everyone in your life is going to be around you forever. People may come and go. So instead of being attached to the fear that this person's going to leave, or what if the things I own that I've worked hard for are going to be taken away from me somehow, be in gratitude that you have them right now, today, this very moment. So then we don't look back and go, why didn't I tell that person how much I love them? Why didn't I show them? Why didn't I express that? Why was I so caught up in the fear of everything else going on in my mind? I can say right now, I really love my phone, and I'm grateful that my phone works and that I was able to pay for it. I'm grateful for my vehicle. I'm grateful that it runs. Just be grateful every day, all day, for everything and everyone you have. Say it often. Show it if you're uncomfortable saying it. Take care of it. Cherish it. All right, my loves, that is the message I have for today. I hope it didn't come off too intense or too harsh or, like I said, too cold, but I can't control how everyone interprets what I say. All I can do is relay the message that comes to me and what has been my experience and what's my truth. So take what resonates and dismiss what doesn't. But if it did resonate with you, if you learned something, if it helped you today in some way, please give it a thumbs up, and or leave me a comment. I love chatting with you guys, and I love hearing your feedback and what you have to say. So until next time, I hope you practice your detachment from your fears of losing your manifestations before you even receive them, and you will start to manifest much quicker, much easier. Take care, everyone.